So after the listing of Nigeria's Eurobonds and diaspora bonds on the FMDQ OTC, I had a brief interview with the Vice President Business and Markets of that platform. That's Tumi Sekoni, a regular on this program. She explains some of the strategic developmental goals of the FMDQ OTC for next year, 2018. Listen.
FMDQ and what we've been doing even from inception is to find ways, come up with initiatives to help develop and help deepen our debt capital market so that it is conducive for obviously issuers, including corporates and even for investors. And so one of the main things that we sort of champion, we started a couple of years ago, was the Debt Capital Markets Development Project. And that in itself looks at the capital markets, debt capital markets, the issues around that and how we can resolve. And when we say we, it's not FMDQ, but the entire market can resolve that. So there are a whole bunch of issues that were diagnosed in the workshop that happened in 2015. And what the project has been able to do is to sort of have different areas, different work groups to look at the specific issues and proffer solutions to those issues. And those who would solve these issues are not only the market participants, but even the regulators and all of that. So apart from the DCM, it's also, the DCM project is also awareness, increasing the awareness. It's things like this, when the federal government makes a move, and again, like I said, paves the way, opens the way, sets the pace for the markets, then the corporates can also come in and issue. And as the DG was saying, the looking forward towards a lower interest rate regime would also encourage corporates to issue. The infrastructure funding side of things also, it's not only the government that can do that. The markets, the corporates, the private markets would have to come together, galvanize together to help build those sectors in the economy.
Earlier on, Coco, your colleague, was talking about foreign currency denominated dollar bond, the possibility of raising that domestically. How feasible is that in Nigeria? I
mean, like I said, we have a huge DOM account balance, and it was, from what he said, about 12 billion US dollars, and what happens with these DOM accounts is sort of sitting in the account and maybe not necessarily generating as much interest, and with debt securities like this, it not only helps to develop a market, it also helps even the investor to, the investor gets better value, if you will, or get a better return on their investment. So it is, again, it is also about raising awareness, educating people and letting people know that these securities exist and this is what you can do. And having the securities listed on a platform like FMDQ would obviously help in that regard.
So in terms of bringing the FG and sovereign bonds that we've seen being issued for like the last 8 to 9 months in the country, and bringing that to the FMDQ platform, what are the strategies you're cooking up for that?
So as was mentioned earlier during the ceremony, we're working on a dealing member specialists initiative, which we've been working on for a while now, and it's these investment houses, who feel they can also contribute to improving the liquidity in the fixed income markets. So, and those are able to reach to the retail markets and offer, or at least raise awareness about these securities. And that's exactly what the FGN Savings Bond is trying to do. It is a retail bond, and it requires, it requires retail participation and those who can actually get into the retail market to offer that. And that's what our Dealing Member Specialist initiative is looking at.
So you also have plans in 2018 to come up with your clearinghouse. Walk us into that.
Well, again, as was said, we've already gotten our license for that, and it's really about developing or building our markets. So it's going to be clearing of the fixed income securities, and it is something that the market didn't have for a bit, and something that people had been, asking for, because again, it helps in risk management. So there'll be more about that in 2018, but that is, we only just got the license and we're working towards, rolling that out and, bringing more improved market infrastructure into the...
Finally, how does it tie in with your sustainable financing initiative?
So sustainable finance is something that the global markets are looking at, not only as another asset class, if you will, but there is it's a means to addressing fundamental issues in the world, and Nigeria obviously has shown that it is also interested in sustainable finance. So sustainable finance is something that's also under our Debt Capital Markets Development Project, and we recently launched the subcommittee to look at sustainable finance. So one of our major focuses for next year will be around the sustainable finance initiatives, and indeed we've already started work around that with the subcos, and also infrastructure and housing, to see as sort of major areas that we need to try and galvanize necessary capital and help develop and build in the markets.
That was Sumi Sekone, one of the vice presidents at the FMDQ OTC Securities Exchange. Quite a lot to watch out for in the FMDQ platform next year. It is also possible that the OTC will be relocating from the current office that they're occupying, I think sometimes in the middle of next year. Then again, making reference to something very significant that the Director General of the Debt Management Office, Ms. Patience Oniha, talked about during the course of her speech. She said $2.5 billion on the way as an external financing program next year. And this is subject to the passage of 2018 budgets. That's next year. So the earlier we can have that, the better for the market. And of course, that will not be the last visit or listing of Eurobonds or diaspora bonds on that markets. The DMO will certainly return to that market sometimes again next year to list the next issue, which is that $2.5 billion external financing program. That is, of course, being done consistently for international or foreign investors as well as domestic investors who really want to make exits from such programs. Well, that's the show for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Temple Ashaju. Have a wonderful Christmas, a wonderful Boxing Day, and we'll see you again before next year. Bye for now.